Am I wrong for telling my friend to stop flaunting her money and calling her a gold digger? I, 39 female, have been best friends with Jill, 40 female, since we were in high school. Between the two of us, she's always been a bombshell. Blonde, tall, slim, big boobs, etc. She never dated anyone in high school, which was weird to me because almost everyone in our school did, including myself. When we were in college and she was still turning guys down, I asked her why, and she said that she wants someone who is financially stable. I laughed it off at the time. I should also mention she grew up poor, as in her mother was going to the food bank poor. After we graduated, she got a job at a gym teaching yoga. I continued my education to be a teacher. She eventually met someone at the gym, and he's rich. Like, I can't even comprehend the kind of money this guy has. Fast forward to now, they're married with 2 kids, and I believe she signed a prenup when they married. We went out to dinner this past Saturday with 2 other friends from college, and she wanted to go to a very expensive place, her treat. She does this a lot, flaunts her money, clothes, trips, everything. I always tried to smile and ignore it, but it has been slowly bothering me. The dinner was going fine until one of our friends, Amanda, asked Jill what she planned for her birthday. Jill said that her husband and her are going to Greece for 3 weeks. Amanda and Sharon both made comments about how nice and lovely that is, and I kind of scoffed at it. When Jill asked me what was wrong, I admittedly lost it. I told her I'm tired of her flaunting her money at everyone all the time, and everyone knows she only married her husband for money. It got really quiet for a couple of seconds, and to my surprise, Jill very calmly asked if that's what everyone really thought. I said yes. Jill then asked if it was at all possible that she initially dated him for his money, but she fell in love with him along the way. Both of our friends said, of course. At the same time, I said no. I told her she fell in love with what he can provide for her. She then asked me if I love what my boyfriend provides for me, which is way different because I never started dating him for those things. She countered that with, of course you did. If you were just attracted to him, but he wasn't loving, providing, caring, you wouldn't still be in a relationship with him. And if you were, it would be an unhappy and unhealthy one. I argued it's still not the same thing. She then stood up and said that she has other places to be and not to worry about the bill. She left, and then 3 of us finished our meals in silence. When the server came around, he handed me the bill for my meal only. She paid for herself and the other 2, but left me to pay for an almost $50 meal that I really couldn't afford. I texted her and called her an asshole. She replied saying not to message her again until I apologized for my earlier comments. I admit I must have been too hard, but I don't think I'm wrong, so am I the asshole? Why should she have to go through the same pain and sufferings to have a good life if someone else can help her provide it for it? Like, I like Jill. She knew her worth, didn't want to settle, and said, hey, I want to be with the man who can provide for me and my family. And that's what she got. My 36 female, fiance 36 male, is accusing me of faking a pregnancy. For the sake of this post, I'll be referring to my ex fiance as M. We both had pretty bad endings to our previous relationship, so we decided to take things slow. We dated for 3 years before we moved into our apartment together, and then lived here for another 2 years before he proposed. We loved each other, kitchen dancing, so much laughter. We adopted 2 pups, we both loved our jobs, and we were dedicated to them and financially secure. We discussed having a baby and decided that we should wait until we purchase a home and get married. Somehow, that's not what was meant to be, and I ended up pregnant within weeks. Nervousness slowly turned into excitement. He held my hair while I was throwing up. He came to every single appointment, ultrasound, saw and felt her move around. We already loved her so damn much, had her nursery ready, and had her name already picked out. Just over the moon. I drive for a living. I move cars from dealership to dealership, auction to auction, do customer drop-offs, etc. I was called into work and decided we needed the extra pay and hours to help with maternity leave and went in. I was over halfway done with my shift when I was T-boned by a drunk driver. He took everything from me. He took my daughter, and he took the love my fiance and I had for one another away. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't get out of bed. I hated the world. My fiance, who was caring at first, became distant, which is to be expected because he lost her too. Yet now he accuses me of cheating. I never did. Of lying about the pregnancy. He went to every appointment. If I even remotely bring her up, he gets violent and locks me outside with no keys, wallet, and like right now, no jacket. It's cold, I'm tired, I miss what my life used to be. He's refusing therapy and I'm not sure what else to do. Do I leave? Do I continue to get him to open up and risk my safety? Or do I just act like our daughter never existed? She does have a little small update. For everyone that gave me the warning of leaving, as much as I still don't want to, it's for the best. I was left out of the house at 5 a.m. After 8 long hours in the cold. He was blackout drunk and still angry. I made the mistake of grabbing the bottles and pouring it down the drain and pay the consequences. The man I loved is gone. The person that replaced him is a monster. I'm currently waiting in the emergency room to be checked out for a head injury and some scratches on my neck. This was not him. This is not his true colors. Grief just took him away and replaced him with someone that I don't know and never want to know. any of you experience any loss, please do not let it take you away from your loved ones. Seek therapy, cry, get it out. Don't let it replace you.
Bought the wedding dress my best friend wanted, but didn't get, and she's mad at me. I, 25 female, got engaged to my now fiance, 26 male, of 7 years on December 24th, 2022. I'm so happy and excited. The wedding is set for March 16th, 2024, and I've already planned so much. Now the drama. My best friend, who I'll call Kay, 25 female, got married August 15th, 2022, and chose me as her maid of honor. We've been best friends for 10 plus years. I was super excited and did everything a maid of honor is expected to do, especially go dress shopping with the bride. We went to at least 3 different bridal stores together, and she absolutely, all caps, fell in love with one from the last store. She wanted it so bad, and she looked absolutely stunning. However, her mom, who I'll call B, didn't like it. It was a little over budget, and she said it wasn't bridal enough and looked like a cocktail dress. Kay was clearly upset, so I tried to help her come up with ways for her to get the dress. Unfortunately, B didn't budge. Kay ended up choosing a different dress at a different bridal shop that was just as beautiful. Fast forward to February of this year. I asked her to be my maid of honor and invite her dress shopping with my mom and I. I try on several dresses at the first stores, but none of them were the one. So we go to the store where she fell in love with the dress, but didn't get it. And I try on several dresses. I knew I wanted to try on that dress just because. I didn't think it would be a big deal because she ended up choosing another dress. The moment I put it on, I knew it was the one.
Oh, God.
I felt so beautiful and confident for the first time in years. Kay went to the restroom and my mom said I should talk to Kay to make sure she was all right. So before we all went to dinner, I asked Kay, will you be mad if I choose this dress? She said, I'd be a little jealous, but if that's your dress, you should get it. 2 weeks later, I said yes and set an appointment for her to get her maid of honor dress. I even offered to buy it for her because I wanted her to get a dress she wanted no matter the cost. After I said yes, she got extremely upset and ran into her dress room crying. My smile immediately went away and everyone in the bridal shop could see. She texted me a few hours later saying, quote, I'm sorry. You knew how much I wanted it for my wedding and it feels like a punch in the gut. She also said, quote, it felt like a stab in the back. I couldn't stop crying. The next day we had a girls' day because she didn't have a bachelorette. That's a whole nother story. And we both apologized. We had a great day and I thought everything was fine. Kay went silent for 2 months after that day. I texted her and basically asked her what's going on. She said, quote, based on how I was treated during my wedding planning and then you getting that dress, you don't value our friendship. I was shocked. I honestly didn't know what she meant by, quote, how I was treated throughout my wedding process, and I didn't respond right away. The next day I texted her that what she said broke my heart and we needed to have a conversation, but I needed time to process everything. A week later, I asked Kay if she was still going to be my maid of honor. I told her, quote, I still want you to be, but if you don't want to, I'll understand. And she responds, that sounds like you don't want me to be. I said that was not the case, but I wouldn't force her and I would respect her decision regardless. She basically ended up saying, quote, I'm still going back and forth with it, but I'm leaning towards not being in your bridal party. Fast forward to weeks of trying to get together in person. We get together and talk. The conversation went well, I thought. I told her she's no longer in the bridal party and my second maid of honor is taking over the role completely. Kay and I both said we want to stay in each other's lives. One thing that Kay said that really pissed me off is that when I said I can't go back in time and choose a different dress, she laughed and said, quote, you could, it would just be a lot of money. LOL. I've been really going back and forth on this and it's adding so much stress to myself. So am I the asshole?
This needs to be unpacked a little bit. That's dicey.
Am I wrong for how I, 37 male, reacted to my son, 17 male, coming out to me? It's been pointed out that my title wording makes the post seem way worse than it is, and I do apologize for that as it wasn't my intention. But I've always known my son had an interest in men. He was slow on the pickup of incognito mode, and from the searches he made, I figured at least he was bi-curious. If that's the proper term for it, since he hit puberty. Well, last year he started bringing a boy around and it was so obvious they were dating to the point that I figured he knew that I knew and it wasn't a big deal to anyone. Well, apparently I was definitely wrong. After school yesterday, he and his boyfriend came up to me and said there was something really important they needed to tell me. That's when he told me they're dating and had been for a year, but I was just really thrown off that he didn't know I knew. Well, my mouth moved faster than my brain, and that's when I said, well, that's really freaking gay.